Hi guys, Joey here from Genesis. So wanted to recap something we did back in March. Joining me is Raphael Levy, who runs the Card Tavern. On top of having Magic Twitch and does a whole bunch of content creation as well. Go check him out; he's awesome. But we're here to talk about Card Tavern. So first off, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great.
Where were you again? I forgot. Country.
I'm in Toulouse, France.
France.
It's southwest of France, between two seas.
Gotcha. Yeah, I forgot exactly how you two connected, but it is like 9 o'clock your time, so we're doing this in between the little moments that we have in the evening, or the afternoon for me. But anyway, so to recap everything we did, Genesis did a Magic the Gathering, jeez. I almost forgot what the name of the game was. It's only the biggest one out there. Magic the Gathering tournament. We brought a bunch of content creators, such as BestMarmotte and Raph and MTGNerdGirl, PleasantKenobi, others who I'm going to put on screen because that's just going to be better than me trying to read them all off. But we pitted them against in a 3-round kind of Swiss match for Genesis Battle of Champions. We had an online platform called Coliseum of Fate. Where we just said, hey, try the game. We did a little session or two where we taught people the game. We made up 8 decks inside of the system for them to kind of choose from, which they weren't restricted to those, as we found out. And we let them kind of have at it. So first off, kind of how was your experience with that? Because I know you were with a bunch of other streamers, some of whom haven't played before. What was just kind of the overall feeling of the tournament?
So I want to take part in that tournament. I had people over to play with me, basically. No, I mean, I found 7 other content creators, Magic content creators to play, and I wanted to be the 8th one because I wanted to see the tournament from the inside to see like all little things I can improve for later events, and I also really love the game. I had tried it maybe, what was it, like couple months prior.
Okay.
And I actually loved it. It was with Sid and was it Will? Probably Will.
Probably Will,
And we
the
had
judge.
we had a couple of streams with the game, and I actually really liked it. And I was like, yeah, I want to play more. I don't have the chance to like play physically here. I don't think we have the cards yet.
Yes, we're working
And
on it.
I don't really have the time to do that anyways. So it was a good opportunity for me to just do that. And I loved it, and I loved the tournament, and it's very different from Magic, but I'm pretty sure people from not from Magic seeing Magic players play, so different ways to think, about the game. And for me, it was great. I enjoyed every second of it.
So how did you actually discover Genesis? Did we reach out to you, or did you just kind of find us in passing?
No, someone put me in touch with Sid.
Oh,
I was working with Marshall, and that you might know,
okay, yeah.
and he put me in contact with Sid, and then we started doing something together. And then I told Sid that I was running the Card Tavern, and said, "Oh yeah, maybe we can do something together." So I drafted this tournament to bring Genesis to another kind of audience that might be interested in the game. And I think Magic players kind of like new challenges, and that was one of them. It's different from what they usually play. Magic, the way I see Genesis, like Magic is 2D. Like you have
Okay.
your hand against your opponent's board, your opponent's hand. That's it. Like doesn't matter what you put your cards.
Right.
And then you add the one dimension to it, like the actual board, and that makes it very interesting. There were other games that tried that. I think it was Artifacts. It was a little different. You had 3 different boards.
Yeah, I know there's a couple
Like
that
3
do
different
stuff like
games.
that. Man, Artifact. I think somebody did like a whole documentary on
Yeah.
Artifact.
And there was another game that I liked that didn't last very long. I think that was Wizards as well. What was it called? Something Blade. It was figurines.
Oh, I'm not familiar. I know Genesis has been compared quite often to like Mage Wars, Summoner Wars.
I
People
have to look
confuse
up
us
that
with
game.
sorcery nowadays. Like that's not who we are.
It was
Um,
with dice figurines, and like deck building, which you kind of like Warhammer, but like with only like 10 guys and with dice. It's kind of similar to Genesis actually. I have to look up
Was
the
it
name
Yu-Gi-Oh!
again.
Dungeon Dice Monsters?
No. I think it was Wizards. I was
I don't actually know what it was.
played or something like this. I have to look it up. I'll look it up. I'll tell you. Or maybe we'll come back. We actually had the figurines at home, so
We're not doing this live. I can put it in post. Editing Joe, I looked. I got nothing. We'll search it up. I'll put it on the screen. All right, so you mentioned the Card Tavern. I want to talk really quickly about that because, like I said, Genesis partnered up. So, kind of full disclosure, we didn't just find 8 random Magic the Gathering streamers that said, hey, can you do a tournament with us? We had Raph, who runs the Card Tavern, and what he does is he kind of reaches out to those communities and those, he's got kind of an arsenal of streamers who have some really good reach. It's a great opportunity for games like us to kind of get a little exposure, but I don't want to steal all that thunder. Tell me a little bit about the Card Tavern. How did it start? What do you try to do with it? Give me kind of a quick pitch.
So the Card Tavern is a talent agency. I have contacts across the whole board of Magic the Gathering creators, and I know that a lot of game companies are looking for specific talents, specific skills that Magic players actually have. It's either in gaming, in testing, or in just showcasing some games. For Genesis, that was the case. And the thing is, these companies, they have a hard time finding the right fits for their events, or they don't know what to do. So, and these Magic creators, this Magic Gathering content creators and players, they're looking for gigs. They have sometimes some sponsored content, but there's so much you can do with Red Shadow Legends.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I can appreciate that as well, knowing that it's hard to like just dig into your fan base because you have a fan base. Like smaller games have their fan base. Like, hey, you want to be a part of this, but yeah, to your point, like they might not always know what like good testing is or what kind of good feedback is. So I actually didn't know you did testing and basically anything of the gamut. It's almost like you're kind of a card game consultant company.
That's the point. Yeah, we have a lot of these players, and now especially since like the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour is kind of went down. We are a lot of players like looking for stuff to do because we know you have a lot of skills that are not necessarily very useful in the outside world. As in, it's hard to show. You go to a company, say, well, I'll play this game at a pro level for 25 years. It's gonna be like, yeah, good for you. So
Yeah,
what
right.
are what's your what do you do at school? Like, come on, doesn't count for anything. Like, I have 25 years of experience. Oh yeah, but how many years after your graduation? Like, no, you don't get it. Never mind. And you
Yeah,
this game
as you get to dark ages of, I mean, I'm sure there's a whole conversation how you can spin being a card player and the hobbyist into something educational. I remember seeing articles of like how there were a bunch of CEOs who learned half of what they learned by running guilds for Warcraft.
True. But then you also want to use these skills, it's like it's what you do, it's what you've been doing. And when you go to game companies and say, well, I have 25 years of experience in gaming, like, oh, okay, they don't really care about your diplomas. You do just like, okay, you have experience in gaming. What do you do? Oh, and I'm also streaming. I have this much. My audience is this big, and like, okay, that's interesting. So we want to connect these two worlds that usually don't really.
That's really cool, actually. Yeah. So like content creators who have those reach, like for me, I was able to get into the industry because of the marketing stuff. But yeah, you kind of provide an outlet of how'd you like to do game testing? Maybe all you did was content creation. I have people who need you for other things. It could be kind of a cool career builder. I don't know if that's what anybody has looked at.
That's one of the things, because what I like to do is logistics. I love have sorting stuff out. If there's a problem, I like to solve it. I like to know, you have a problem, you have a need. Okay, give me a little time. If I have the resources, I'll do it. If I don't have them, I'll find them and I'll make them work.
That answers some questions about like how you were okay with half of the challenges we had.
I actually like to have things sorted. That's what I live for. If I don't have what I want sorted, I can't go to bed. Like, I can't sleep.
I can feel that.
And the feeling of the gratifying feeling you have when you finish something and everything worked out. That's what I love. And knowing that I can't do that for, people I like, or for companies that are actually looking for like specific needs that I know how to find. For example, I worked for other companies and they were looking for very specific people, like to do one job, and they're like, okay, give me 2 days.
Yeah, I've got this.
I got this. Yeah, let me make a few phone calls.
Yeah, no,
and
I
2 days
will
later
say
they had everything covered. So
right. I will say
I love doing that.
When it comes to logistics, Raph is an absolute rock star. Some of the challenges that we had, one of the things we were up against was we were going to Origins Game Fair. So we had to deal with, when we first came with the idea, when we first kind of approached and solidified stuff, it was right as I think like a pro tour was getting going, like it just got back. So we couldn't do anything during that time. And then we had like this 3-4 week window before we all left to Origins, and we wanted to try to get this done. And we also had the problem of logistics of like, who the heck's actually going to cover these if half the team is in Origins, is at the game fair right now, doing stuff. So that was its own challenge. But yeah, between all of that and finding people and random like weekend long internet and power outages.
That was
That was just like, okay.
that was one of the streams with Matthias. He has power shortage in his area. He didn't have access to internet like for 3-4 days, and he had 2 matches to play, and we had to figure out, okay, so what do we do now? We have 8 players. He has played 1 round. How do we make it so the tournament is completely fall apart and we don't give an unfair advantage to one player? And
so we had like 5 options, I think. I remember he was like, here's everything that we can do. And after all of that, like, his internet comes back on.
Yeah, it took me like 5 active hours to figure out everything that could happen.
Yep.
And like, oh yeah, it came back. Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah. No, that was a common trend with you in the Discord of like, give me 3 hours, and then we get like a book of things. Like, cool, good to know. But no, like I said, it was absolutely an awesome event. The logistics of it, we did not have to do a ton outside of just try to get the events organized, just so people know what we were up to, which Lord knows we probably could have done a little better. There's a learning experience for us as well. But yeah, it was a fantastic tournament. It was a ton of fun. Some of those are available online. I'll put some of that in the links for those in the description. Some things or other stuff we're just kind of sampling out. But as far as who the heck won, LegenVD ended up taking that one. Oh god, I think it was Nubia Angels. I think he was on Angels.
I think so, yeah.
For that one, Angels versus Idris Blitz. Yeah, we brought in some good meta stuff. We didn't really want to bring this. We didn't want to just bring like beginner decks. We wanted to really show everybody what like the power level could look like. And one of the things that we really liked, and this is a massive testament to everything you just said about finding people who've done this before, is listening to the thought process during matches. Like a normal match could probably go like 20-30 minutes if you really know what you're doing. You and MTGNerdGirl had like a 2-3 hour bloodbath.
3-hour match, yeah.
But what made it a lot of fun...
It was super late for me as well.
Yeah.
So and someone, she was like, look, I'm going to have to go, so you're going to have to play faster. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to think here.
Right, and I think that she had an obligation as well. Like, so it was like, this can't go, round 3 can't, or next round can't go that crazy. But one of the things that was really cool was listening to both of you go through talking to kind of your respective streams on, like, what are you thinking in the moment. It was something that NerdGirl just crushed. She just would not... Like, the train of thought just kept rolling and rolling. It was really impressive. And then, like, Marmotte, and there were a bunch of others that were doing that, too, which is a big value to having people who've done this for a while. I know, like, I built a lot of Flesh and Blood getting started, and I was, like, kind of terrified of reaching out to the Magic community. I was like, I don't want it to look like I'm trying to steal you into this game. And then that's... What Card Tavern does is kind of avoids that, like... I'm not trying to steal creators. I'm really trying to just get their awesomeness and expertise in. And yeah, you guys delivered really, really well. So, but that's going to be for a whole little section later as well, because I want to share just what we gained out of it. But kind of getting back into the tournament, what did you play? I don't know if you played one or if you played a couple. What did you gravitate towards?
So I played Core Chrono Walker. I don't know how maybe
the Core Control deck.
Core Control, yeah.
So a lot of Chrono Walkers, a lot of moving around, a lot of malicious persuasions to just move things out of the way.
My only regret is that I didn't have more games before. And I know the deck I played, I know I could have won my first match had I changed a couple cards. I know the deck I was handed was not optimal. Like, I know some of the cards, every time I drew them, like, oh, this card doesn't do anything. I do not want to have this card in my deck. I changed it for match 2 and match 3, but I know, like, my games against Marmotte in round 1 were super close. And every time, like, I was like, oh man, if that card did anything, I would just probably win.
Yeah,
and
God,
that was probably my only regret in that tournament.
I think that one was, I want to say that one, you versus Marmotte, was one where, I forgot if Marmotte, like, just kind of felt he'd lost. There was a match where somebody just felt they lost, like, early on, but decided to play it through, and they lasted a long time and made it really close. I forgot if they even came out on top on that one.
That was that one, but yeah.
Okay. It was surprising. I was like, that's really cool. Okay, so yeah, you did Core Control. I know it was like Core Control, Nubia Angels, Idris Blitz were like the big three. And then I know NerdGirl came in with just kind of a bounce around the deck. Well, no, it was like a very aggressive beat the tar out of everything, which was pretty fun. She had a sneaky little trick. I don't know if you got a chance. I don't think it was against you, where she lured a bunch of barracks around her.
No, that was not me.
Yeah, she had one where she literally took like a less optimal move to lure barracks around her so she could hurricane sweep them all. And it was just like, that was nuts. That was real cool. Just a lot of death.
I knew that Chrono Walkers were super powerful, and I knew against players that were not, like, they would not know how to play against them, because I didn't know how to play against them. Every game I play against Chrono Walker, I was like, what is this card? It's just so good. Like, I can't do anything. And then they're gonna play this and this. Like, I wanted to be on the side of the Chrono Walkers. I wanted to mess with everything. So that's why I chose that deck. And I actually, like, I don't know how competitive it is. And
it's pretty up there. It
higher
is a
level
mess to deal with.
But I know that card is great, so.
Yeah. And Origins adds a lot of fun, flair, and extra things to it, so I'm excited to see that come out. One more thing, and then we'll get into kind of the second little phase of this, but that was another thing to really appreciate, is that the crew that you brought on board, yourself included, also, they got engaged in the community. You guys joined our Discord. Some of you, like, in the middle of the tournament, were asking way early, like, hey, who wants to get some rounds in? Who wants to talk meta? Like, it was a really good feeling of just not feeling... we didn't feel like you were just here for the thing and then you left the second you possibly could. It didn't seem like this was an inconvenience to anybody. And that was awesome. And that's a big thank you to you and everybody who participated to really get the community engaged. But I'll top in the rest of that a little bit later. One of the things we did for the Card Tavern, as kind of a special thank you for putting all of this together and going through a whole lot of insanity, but ultimately making something fantastic, is we sent you a spoiler. Boom, which he still has sealed in the wax seals.
Awesome. I got it last week and I haven't opened it. I'm very curious. And there's a seal. There's a nice seal on it, and I didn't want to crack it. So,
like, I want to say, like, 2 months ago, Asid showed me like the wax seal, and I was like, oh my god, you got to do it for everything. And that is a regular point of pride that creators have been, anybody who's been saying, is like, this wax seal is great.
So should I actually crack it, or should I just and stick it?
That's up to you. Like, I don't know if you want to like keep that thing.
I know. I will do it a little old school. Like, actually crack it.
All right.
That's what they. Oh, is it actual wax? Oh, never mind. It doesn't crack. Still, like, you can see it cannot be resealed. So, I guess that's good enough. All right. So let's see.
So, spoiler for Card Tavern, along with a note.
Should I read the note?
If you want.
It's a long note. Let's see if I can read. Hey, Raph, the Card Tavern tournament was crazy. Can't believe how it turned out. You look so great. What? Oh, no, that's not what it said. So many blitz decks, but the Angel just soared on top of it all. It was great to watch, and the community you built is amazing. I can't wait to work with you again. All right, anytime.
Yeah.
So I want to personally thank you for supporting Genesis and being part of Origins spoiler season. Origins is a very special set for me because it is a... Did you write it?
I didn't. This is awesome.
Okay, so just to make sure.
Yeah, this is all awesome.
Go back to my early days of designing my first tactical card game way back in 2009 and earlier. That game was called Origins. I learned a lot from making that game, and I took all those lessons into creating Genesis. And this day we will find a special promo that we selected for you to spoil, Cold Shot. This card may not seem like a lot, but sometimes the simplest cards are the best. If Wind Slash is Genesis Shock, then this card is Genesis Lightning Bolt. It's going to be a powerful card in a lot of decks, in my opinion. What do you think? Would this make you interested in playing Belloom Burn? Well, I don't know what Belloom is. Burn, I can see what it is, but Belloom, I'm not sure what it is yet. Ha ha ha. I hope you and your community are excited about the release of Origins coming soon. Regards, Assad. All right.
I still don't remember what the card is. I know I've seen it. I just don't remember what it was.
Like
all right,
Lightning
so here we go.
Bolt.
Exclusive spoiler.
All right, let's see.
From
so
Card
it's
Tavern.
double sleeved. Well, that's not. It's single sleeve, but
Single
actually the
sleeve
first
with a Genesis sleeve.
Yeah, it's a Genesis sleeve. Okay, it's actually the first time I actually see a card. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna show it to you first.
So I can remember it.
Oh, look at this! Is it on all the cards? Is the tavern thing on all the cards?
It's not on every card in the print.
Oh,
it's not every card in the print, but
no, I mean, not on all of these, right?
Yeah, you're getting a stack of those though.
Sweet. Okay, because this show it again. There's a little tavern thing on.
We'll see if that fixes the
cool.
camera. So Cold Shot. I'll let you spoil it. It doesn't need to go to me to spoil.
Cold Shot. So how do we even call the cards? Okay, Swift range attack 3, costs 4. This one is energy. Right?
Yep, 4 energy.
4 energy. Swift range attack 3, and it's 2 in the front. And it's 5. Build it 5 in the build. Is that right?
5 chi.
5 chi. Yes.
Yep. So 5 chi. Used everywhere. Any deck can use it. Yeah, shoots 2 in front of you. Ranged attack for 3 is a swift. Burns 4 energy off the top of the deck. So energy in the game is you're literally milling. Your deck is a resource in the game. So yeah, I know you've seen bolt shots. I know you're familiar with those.
Yes.
Which is an area attack for 4. This is just a smack you upside the head for 3.
That's pretty good. Yeah. And you can play it in is it in every deck? You can play it in every deck?
So the top is basically Jalara, but as far as everything down below it, it was the affiliations. So you didn't have to really deal with it for deck construction because we made decks.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with all the deck construction.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that did not really get into. The only thing I did was like getting rid of the card that didn't want to play my deck and replace it by better cards.
Yeah, so just a quick minute for anybody who sees it. The card that he showed, there were like 5 little things on the right side. Those are affiliations. You can see those. Yep, there we go. So the right side of the card, there's affiliations. They'll light up. Those are basically the cards that your champion will have some of those lit up. You can pick cards that have those lit up, or any one of those lit up that matches. So that's basically how colors work. And it's the best way to kind of compare that. And then we were talking about that 5 chi, the power level. In Genesis, you can have 50 cards in your deck. You have 50 cards. That's a limit. But there's no restrictions. It's not like Magic where you can only have 4, Flesh and Blood where you can only have 2 or 3, or others where you're limited on a card. You can have any number of that card in your deck. The trick, however, is that you have to have a max power level. Your maximum power level is 250. So that card's right in the sweet spot. 5 chi. If for some reason you wanted to have 50 of those, go for it. Don't recommend it, but you can. But there are some cards that are very, very powerful that have like 8 chi. So if you want to have those big bombs, then you've got to offset it with smaller things. So that way you're just not drawing massive amounts of amazing things.
Yeah, you can show your face. Come on, show your face.
So
She
that's a
designed,
spoiler.
my
Called
wife
shot.
designed the logo.
Mhm.
Could have made you a better.
You could have made a better one. Well, that's fine. So this is...
Is Rafa sharing it off? Because it's cool. It's something we did for content creators who backed us and ones who supported us that we got ahead of. We were able to put their logo on things. So yeah, you'll likely get a bunch more of those that you can share with your community.
Sweet.
Others have done it as well. We did a
Sweet.
really cute one for NerdGirl. We redesigned a hero. I'll let her spoil the art though. It's really fun. It's fun. So yeah, that's the spoiler for everybody. If you guys want to hang around just a little bit longer, I'd love to chat a little bit more about kind of what the Card Tavern does. But before we jump really heavy into that, all I have to say, and I know this comes from the entire team, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who was a part of the tournament. Major thanks to Raph for just making that happen. Even bringing the idea is already impressive enough, but to be able to execute as well as you did, that was pretty spectacular. And yeah, it's something that I'll find a way to do it again. We'll do this more.
I'll be ready. I'll have my game up.
Nice, love it. Well, we'll amp this up just real like next time. So hold on, I've got to now I've got to take care of little things. I need a few little things that happen when you just kind of go on the fly. But anyway, yes, that's what I have. So one thing I wanted to do to really wrap this up, and this is going to be kind of less for, this is a little mixture of Genesis's benefits, but for anybody who is also looking at the Card Tavern, or maybe thinking of like what he did sounds like something we can use. I wanted to quickly share a little of my experience, and then Raph, I'll kind of let you talk a little bit more kind of about the vision and some of the other benefits. So one of the things we really wanted to do with this was we wanted to engage the community. We wanted to re-engage our community. It'd been a little while since something had released. Our Discord was kind of just, it was a little slow. It's a nice way to put that. Slow. So this was a great opportunity for us. Let's go camera. Let's go camera. It'll figure itself out. Maybe I'll just flicker it. Beauty of post. There we go. Okay. So this was a great opportunity for us to get a lot of reach, to be able to get a lot of excitement saying, hey, we've got these, amazing names who many of them know, trying Genesis out. Go check out their streams if you like them. Many of them are like, oh, I know that person, And it was a great way for us to tell our community that we already had of like, hey, what a cool new thing to do of go check out these Twitch streams and watch people playing and engage and chat and share strategy and share all of these things. That was one of our big goals with this. And it worked. It worked great for us. We also, our Discord that was kind of oh my gosh, camera. Our Discord that was kind of slow turned into having just very regular chatter now, and that hasn't stopped. And I think that Card Tavern really kickstarted a bunch of that. All right, let's go, buddy. Oh, I'm just gonna flicker now. Every time I say. But that was a big gain that we got. Another thing we wanted to get was just general exposure. We know that the people you brought on had about 400, 500,000 kind of subscribers and followers throughout. So we knew that would be good reach for us. We knew we were going to get all that, but the people who we got were genuinely interested. We were able to jump in chats. They were really good about, talking about their experience and their genuine feedback. But I'll go over what the actual successes were in a sec. But Raph, what are some of the other just kind of general visions of what Card Tavern tries to do? You kind of heard my benefits. We'll kind of restart for anybody who might be catching this late.
For what? For a game company?
Yeah, we'll just go. We'll just kind of recap of Game Tavern, what it does, benefits. Like for us, sure. We used it to restart. So if pitch it to a company, like if you need blank.
Okay.
Card Tavern.
So we are a talent agency that connect game companies to Magic content creators or overall people involved in the Magic community who either have skills that they might be interested in or an audience they might want to reach. And we take care of all the logistics to make everything easy for them. the content creators, the Magic players, they want to do other stuff because they're looking for gigs because they don't necessarily have access to a lot of them, and they're usually sick of all the same gig coming over and over again that their viewers are not interested in. Well, not mentioning any more game. And the game companies are just looking for skilled people to either showcase their game, to have feedback on their games, or they're looking for very specific people to hire. And since I do have a network of players and of people working in the Magic world that I can put them in touch with, I'm basically making the connection between them.
So do you have like different groups of people kind of slated for different things? We talked about like play testing. You'd be like, hey, these guys have done play testing. These guys are really your reach people. These are ones who are devoted to, maybe they can do more hype. Do you kind of have that split up, or is it just, what would you guys like to try, see if the game's a fit?
So we do have a Discord where people who want to take part in some kind of gigs, they said, basically, I'm interested in doing this. I'm a content creator. I've been working in game development, and now I have the knowledge of who can do what. So I have this in a file. I know who can do what, and when I have an opportunity for them, just contact them and see, okay, you could be good for that job. And if they're interested, put them in contact with whoever is offering the job. So it's pretty much a talent agency, but there's no
right. It's kind of, it's a little more free flowing of who's down, who's interested. Yeah. So that's awesome of just, having very much a different pool of people. I know you were able to get people kind of on board pretty quickly for this, which was great. We were able to kind of negotiate things a little bit. This is not something they do for free or that Raph does for free. So just fully clear on that. But it's very, very reasonable. As far as kind of pricing and all of that stuff was concerned, we got a heck of a lot out of that. A lot out of the experience. I'm trying to think of, like, I guess if does the team, how do they come in contact with you? Do you reach out to creators and say, it's like, hey, I like what you do, or let's say I'm a creator. Let's spin this, because we've talked about companies. I'm a creator.
Yes.
And I like what you're doing.
Yes.
How do we, any reach for that? Any direction there?
So it really depends on what you are doing. Like, do you at which stage of your game creation you are? Do you need play testers? Do you need people to show the game? Do you need feedback? And it really depends on how much work you need from a third party. I know that some, in the early stages of game creation, you don't necessarily have enough, overall view to know where your game is flawed. And you need third party, to actually test your game. Play testing is normal. If you're 4 people, you can ask some friends, have some, but they might not be really experts in these area. You ask Magic players or people who have a lot of experience in gaming, like, okay, you take the game, you play for 10 hours each, and come back to us, tell us what's wrong, or tell us what you like and everything. The feedback you're going to have in these 10 hours of each player playing is going to be worth way more than 20 or 30 hours anybody else who's not into gaming is going to give you. It's not for everybody. Not everyone can say, oh, well, I've been playing Magic for a little bit. I can do that. It's a gig. I'm going to get some money out of it. Let's just do it.
So what are the things that you look for people like that? Take away game creator, now we'll just go content creator. Or, somebody who wants to be a part of the Card Tavern. What are the qualities that you really look for and embraced as you kind of built that team? And we'll just say, we'll say this explodes and suddenly you need a ton more people. What would you look for?
So there are a few criteria, obviously. So first, I have a budget, and I have to choose like the people who would actually fit my budget because I can't have like 8 streamers with like 1 million followers each because that's not gonna be in your budget,
Right.
and I might not be able to get them, and
That's
not
just a
everybody's
timing
gonna be
problem
happy.
too.
Huh?
That's just a timing problem too. Like,
Yeah. So I have a budget. I'm looking for like people who are gonna ask me more money and stuff like that. Maybe we're gonna not talk about this too much because this is really much my, my
yeah, no,
logistics
keep
thing.
certain things secret, of course.
Yeah. No, but
Your
like
secret sauce.
like people with different audiences, they're gonna ask for different price. So this is one of the limits. So I have to find the right people for the right budget, and then I have to see if they're interested, if their community are gonna be interested. Because if it's someone who really just doing it for the money and not, just say, yeah, I'm gonna do it 2 hours, okay, I'm done, bye. This is not, you're not gonna get your money worth. Like you're gonna have some reach, but then maybe like, yeah, that was okay, bye.
Yeah, so you really want the ones who are you want people who are bringing value, you want people who are bringing expertise, people who are actually passionate about those types of events. And just to not make that one sound weird, I'll just make it a general marketing space. One of the things in just general marketing when it comes to kind of reach and exposure is we consider something called CPM. It's cost per thousand. Sometimes it's just a ratio of expected reach to how much that reach is worth. So that's kind of what we're talking about, of like getting just million is that can be a heck of a lot of money. But we gauge that not necessarily in you of 1 million, more than you've got X number of thousands or X number of hundreds. So that's kind of how that sometimes plays off. Just to keep that in your concept.
It's also very hard to quantify as well because
you
have 8 streamers who have a different viewership, and how many are you gonna get? Like when I'm asked how many people am I gonna get, I'm like, I can't give you numbers right now. I can't tell you that other people were happy with like the flow of people they were getting, the audience they got, but this like to have an exact quantity of people interested, it's hard to tell. Like the only thing that would prove that it worked is actually your testimony.
Yeah, the thing I've got my list. But that is something really important for anybody to know, not just for Card Tavern, but for any kind of like partnership with creators or anything. Possible reach does not necessarily mean the reach you're going to get. Yeah, we had a good, 400,000 to 500,000 throughout everybody who participated, but the streams themselves, as far as like the live, maybe 100. There were a couple that were, 10, 20 to 100. Honestly, that was still really valuable for us, and that's fine. We didn't look and say, you were supposed to bring 10,000 because you've got an audience of 15,000. That's not a thing. That is never a thing. Do not ever expect that unless you do something wild.
Yeah, there's another thing as well. It's like, not only do you get the people interested, but you also got the content. So one of the things we agree on is that you can use the content created during this event.
Yeah.
So you have like 3 rounds of 4 matches. That's about 12 matches.
Yeah, we had 12 matches, which, can account between, at its worst, 36 hours, and its best, 12 to 15 that we got to sample.
And you can use that for, like, future promotional videos or something, or we also got some tutorial that, you can use to teach others. Like,
we did record that tutorial. I forgot about that.
You want to know how to play? Well, this player, you have a tutorial there. Or if you don't want, like that guy, go that place and they'll teach you how to play.
Yeah, and we get kind of the reaction sound bites too, which was nice because it just showed up naturally. Since there are people who've done this for a while, they're giving genuine reactions to things as they're playing. Poor Vince, PleasantKenobi was, he had the rabbits, and he was joking about the rabbits, and he was like, I don't quite understand them, but there was definitely some thrill in seeing them and making them work as well. But it's fun to have those reactions also and see those. So how I don't know if there's a good way. How do people get in touch with you if they want to? Let's say a game wanted to reach out.
So I'm in the process of making it easier for them to reach me.
Okay.
For now, I'm mostly playing it by ear because
Sure.
it's still fairly new.
Yeah.
And have contacts here and there, and I'm talking to people here about, and they talk to other people, and but as soon as I have it under control, I'm gonna make it really clear how you can reach me. Right now, you can basically reach me anywhere you would reach me, Raphael Levy, and I take care of the rest, basically.
Yep. Twitch.tv/RaphaelLevy is a big one. I think that's where most of our stuff happened. But so word of mouth,
Twitter,
essentially. Yeah. But yeah, so I want to wrap this up, and I want to share the specific list of things that we had and what we were trying for. I mentioned way earlier we were literally looking to re-engage our community and get them talking and get them something they were excited about. We wanted a little bit of that reach. We wanted some content that we can use. Those were kind of our big goals. So I'm just going to kind of go through the list of things that I kind of discovered throughout, just as pure. This is literally what Card Tavern was able to bring to Genesis as a result of this. So the fan server, the Discord server that was struggling a little bit, was a little slow, is still buzzing on a regular basis. Strategies, new cards, Coliseum of Fate. This was a great way to show off that tool, which, by the way, was fan-made, courtesy of Awesome Wasim. Rocked it. We had, before Card Tavern, maybe about 2 to 3 people per week, maybe, assuming we didn't lose people show up in that Discord server. We're still getting 5 a day now. And that happened aggressively during the tournament of just new people just showing up regularly. And part of that was making sure that when we were in those streams, we were providing calls to action that invited people to those tournaments. Longtime fans of the game, blown away on how much everyone picked up on the complexities. That was really inspiring for a lot of people. It was also a great way to kind of knock down the intimidation factor of a new game. We didn't shy from the fact that some of the players had never really played before this tournament. Hearing them talk through it really made things just easier to kind of comprehend, which was awesome. New fans loved it. The older fans, everyone just adored it. Tons of enthusiasm, compliments, appreciation. There was some surprise. Even with criticisms and concerns, it was very, very respectful. We never got like a "this sucks" or anything like that. It was very much the don't quite see the purpose of this, the point of this, and stuff that we can reflect on. But again, just that level of professionalism was absolute top tier. It also inspired new content creators who started taking a look at the game. They saw through. We even have one group. I don't quite remember how they got involved, but they're looking at writing like PvE campaigns. Like that's how invested they got, which was very cool. So yeah, professionalism, flexibility, and then just straight up talent was everywhere to be found throughout all of this. We absolutely got everything we wanted and more from this. So that's my testimonial and my big thank you to the Card Tavern for everything that you guys did.
Well, that's great to hear.
So, but that's where I'm going to leave you guys. And thank you guys for sticking around this long. If you saw the entire thing, if you went through the whole spoiler and whatnot, thank you once again to Raph and that entire crew. Hopefully we get a chance to do this again. We've got Invasion coming up, and now we've got an audience of people who have played it before. We can really up the stakes.
Yeah.
And do some spicy stuff.
That'd be awesome.
So, but any final thoughts from you before we wrap this thing?
Well, I kind of hope I get to play some more. I'll have to find others to play with, and otherwise I'll just play on Coliseum of Fate. I kind of want to get into the deck building because I didn't really get to that part. That seems pretty interesting, to be honest. So that's me going forward with the game. I think the game is awesome. So
Thanks.
That's also one of the reasons I kind of wanted to do it, because I was like, yeah, this is fun. I want to play.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. I think even Marmotte, who has an invite to Worlds, I think he's actually even trying to make that happen. So Legend and Marmotte are joining us in November. Well, maybe. That's a big ask, but have the opportunity to join us in November for Worlds in Toronto. But in the meantime, out in Europe, I know we're picking and we're building just a little bit. But that's for another day. Once again, thank you so much, and cheers, everybody. Have yourself a good day.
Bye.